بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum all the student. I hope all of you good. Today we will start fifth lesson about tanween. Tanween sign is fatatain, kasratain and dammatain. Now we should start. Mim fatatain man, mim kasratain min, mim dammatain mun, man min mun. Ba fatatain ban, ba kasratain bin, ba dammatain bun, ban bin bun. Waw fatatain wan, waw kasratain win, waw dammatain wun, wan win wun. Fa fatatain fan, fa kasratain fin, fa dammatain fun, fan fin fun. Sa fatatain san, sa kasratain sin, sa dammatain sun, san sin sun. Dal fatatain dhan, zal kasratain zin, zal dammatain dhun, dhan dhin dhun. Za fatatain zan, za kasratain zin, za dammatain zun, zan zin zun. Za fatatain zan, za kasratain zin, za dammatain zun, zan zin zun. Sin fatatain san, sin kasratain sin, sin dammatain sun, san sin sun. Sad fatatain san, sad kasratain sin, sad dammatain sun, san sin sun. Ta fatatain tan, ta kasratain tin, ta dammatain tun, tan tin tun. Dal fatatain dan, dal kasratain din, dal dammatain dun, dan din dun. Ta fatatain tan, ta kasratain tin, ta dammatain tun, tan tin tun. Ra fatatain ran, ra kasratain rin, ra dammatain run, ran rin run. Nun fatatain nan, nun kasratain nin, nun dammatain nun, nan nin nun. Lam fatatain lan, lam kasratain lin, lam dammatain lun, lan lin lun. Dad fatatain dan, dad kasratain din, dad dammatain dun, dan din dun. Ya fatatain yan, ya kasratain yin, ya dammatain yun, yan yin yun. Shin fatatain shan, shin kasratain shin, shin dammatain shun, shan shin shun. Jim fatatain jan, jim kasratain jin, jim dammatain jun, jan jin jun. Kaf fatatain kan, kaf kasratain kin, kaf dammatain kun, kan kin kun. Qaf fatatain qan, qaf kasratain kin, qaf dammatain kun, qan kin kun. Kha fatatain khan, kha kasratain khin, kha dammatain khun, khan khin khun. Ghain fatatain ghan, ghain kasratain ghin, ghain dammatain gun, gun ghin gun. Ha fatatain han, ha kasratain hin, ha dammatain hun, han hin hun. Ain fatatain an, ain kasratain in, ain dammatain un, an in un. Ha fatatain han, ha kasratain hin, ha dammatain hun, han hin hun. Hamzah fatatain an, hamzah kasratain in, hamzah dammatain un, an in un. Tajweed next lesson related to teeth. You can see in this picture teeth name. You should read and memorize. Now we should start next lesson of Tajweed. Articulation point number 8 about Dod. The letter is produced by touching the side of the tongue with the upper 5 molars. You can see in this picture 5 molars and how tongue touch in 5 molars and pronounce Dod. Our next lesson about tongue. There is 4 point of tongue: deepest part of tongue, middle part of tongue, and head of the tongue and tip of the tongue. You can see in this picture. And over 9 articulation point about lam. This letter is articulated from the anterior 1/3 of the side of the tongue until the sides and at the tip, and what lips opposite to them of the jumps of the front incisor, lateral incisor, canons, and the premolars. It is to be noted that it is a fine line of the side of the tongue that meets up with the jumps, and it does not include the top of the tongue. Then pronounce lam. Tenth articulation point about noon. This letter is emitted from the side of the tongue, touching the jumps of the central incisor, lateral incisor, and cuspid canon. The mistake with this letter tend to be few. The most common mistake is that of using too large an area of the tongue and including the top of the tongue instead of just the tip. You can see in this picture and understand. Next articulation point, raw. The articulation point is from the tip of the tongue with the top of the tip close to the articulation point of the noon, and what lies opposite to it of the jumps of the 2 top front incisor. We can see then that the raw and noon share the same articulation point, with the exception that the raw uses the top of the tip of the tongue with the tip, where the noon only uses the tip. You can see in this picture. You should practice and memorizing. Allah Hafiz.